Okay, so there we go. I put my prompt in. I won't read it all, but really what I'm just trying to say there is I want the user to be able to type, but maintain focus in the text field, because the user might want to carry on kind of sort of entering their search term into that field. So let's just let that run, let it do its thing, and let's see what we get. Okay, so here we go. Let's also put a little debounce feature in there as well. So as I kind of take my hands off the keyboard for a bit, or really just double check to make sure that I finish typing. So let's just do a shift restart here, or a hot restart. Go to favorites, type in the favorite. So let's type in study stretch. There we go. And it's maintaining focus. That is awesome. So that is looking just how we want a search feature to work. Now here we've got some other sort of filters that's sort of happening here. These are kind of not really playing out because you see we've got games and education here. So again, I could just sort of enhance the application just to kind of pick up those additional kind of sort of criterias for our searches. But we're not going to do that now. But that's really good. We're going to go for the next kind of big update here, and that is to kind of let's see how it responds to implementing theming into the application. So we're going to kind of want a dark and a light mode theme. Now, when I've done this in some other little examples, it's all gone horribly wrong, but I'm really kind of hoping that this works really well. So it requires just a bit more extra prompting to kind of like resolve any kind of sort of theming. So let's now add another prompt in. Add light and dark mode themes. Now, what will likely happen here is it will probably go away, probably add a lot more into this application than probably we were expecting. It's likely that we'll probably see like a cog maybe up in the top right hand corner that will allow us to go into a settings and then choose kind of the theme that we would like. It may add in a theme switcher, maybe on the home screen there, that's instantly obvious to then change that to a light and dark mode, probably like a moon or a sunshine icon or something like that. I've got no idea. I didn't really give it much context, to be quite honest with you, but I could have said go and create a settings page, add kind of light and dark mode sort of setting on there or something like that, but I didn't do that. So it's all about the prompting. Remember, you want to make sure that you're trying to get those a little bit accurate in terms of kind of what you absolutely want. But here I'm just kind of saying, look, go away and do your thing. Go and work out maybe something that maybe I didn't think of. But of course, the risk is there as it goes and does too much. But again, remember, in Windsurf, you can roll back at any particular point in time. So you just hit the little revert here. So if things do go wrong, remember you can revert. It's going to be your savior on occasions. I'm pretty sure of it. Okay, so here we go then. I've kind of just noticed it's creating like app icons and stuff like that, so I don't quite understand why it's gone off. But as I said before, it does like to go off and do maybe a little bit more than I expected. So let's just accept that and hit restart. I've no idea what the app icon's all about. So there we go, as expected. And we've got a light and dark mode kind of little option here. Let's go into the settings page first. And yeah, we've got a nice little settings page that's been created. Actually, it's quite nice, and even got a sign out there. That's quite nice. Got data management. I'm not quite understanding why we got that, but it could be that that's overhang from when we kind of started we kind of persisting data kind of locally. So we've kind of got light and dark mode themes here, which actually, even at first glance there, I'm not quite sure what the quick toggle is, but there you go. But that's not looking too bad. I guess the purple color here is looking a little bit iffy, but if I go back here, but actually right off the bat here, that's not a bad little change here from sort of light and dark mode. Actually, it's not too bad. Maybe you just want to bring some of those colors up to be a little bit more contrasty there with the black there. But yeah, that's looking pretty good. Still got this wretched looking kind of orange color here, but again, we could just prompt that and get that one all resolved in terms of getting a little bit more in keeping. And maybe our text fields here need to have a little bit of theme styling as well, but again, just a prompt away from being able to do that. So I would say that's not a bad start, as a good starting point for supporting light and dark mode themes. So maybe let's go for one more little thing here. Let's kind of turn this maybe into a full sort of full screen application. See, we've kind of got the status bar at the top here. We've kind of got this sort of bottom sort of bar at the top here, bottom bar at the bottom at the moment. So but let's see if we can just go something a bit crazy here and make this a full screen app. Make this a full screen application and remove all status bars, etc. Okay, here we go. Okay, so it looks like it's gone through all of the pages there. So let's accept that. Let's just do, I'm just going to do I've done a hot reload there. You can see that the status bar is there. Let's just quit out the application. Let's just run this back up again. So let's hopefully see if that's then respected and remove those status bars. There we go, that's pretty good. We've obviously got a bit of a clash at the top there where we kind of just need to bring this down a little bit there from the top there, as we've got the kind of the notch in the way, but we can just prompt and remove that down a little bit. Move into the favorites, click on one of these here. Again, same sort of problem there. We might want to introduce a little bit more of a safe area just at the top there, but kind of keep the background a little bit more in keeping with our application. But you can see here that we can kind of do all of that stuff as well. So that's just a good little demonstrator there just to prove that that's all looking pretty good. Okay, so let's move on to then a few little tips then when using kind of Dreamflow projects in Windsurf. So one of the things that you probably know, if you're building sort of like other sort of mobile applications elsewhere or using something like Flutterflow or something like that, you'd be familiar with the concept of having like a unique package name to your applications. Now, right off the bat, when you build something in Dreamflow and you bring it down, it's going to have a default package name, which is going to be no good for you because you're going to want to have something more unique to you, and it needs to be unique on the respective stores as well. So what is this package name? So what I've done is I'm just going to go move over to the chat mode here. I'm just going to kind of put a prompt in here and I'm going to say, please tell me what the full package name of the application is. Now this should come back and say something along the lines, so this is like com.example.dreamflow or something like that. But we're going to want to change that, and you'll see this come back in just a second. There we go, com.example.dreamflow. We don't want it to be that. We're going to want to make the change itself. So let's put another prompt in here to change this. So I said, please update the package name to com.thedigitalpro.thebigidea. Now make sure you just toggle that back to write mode, because this is really just on a little bit of an inspection for you, but we're going to want to tell it to make this change for us. This is now going to go through all of the files inside your application, discover where that kind of package name needs to be updated, and it's then going to go and do it. Now, just one thing to kind of bear in mind is that we've been reusing the simulator at this particular moment, and we've been building this application on that previous package name. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to quit out of this, and then we're going to have to do a Flutter run again to then build that application, and you're going to find that you're then going to get an additional icon within inside the simulator. That's because, of course, it's a new package name. You're probably going to have to sign back in again. It's technically like a brand new application within inside the simulator itself. So you can delete out the old one, you can carry on then building on this particular one here. So that's just quite important for you to do as one particular bit. The other bit to sort of just to reiterate again when you're using something like Windsurf or Cursor or something like that is make sure that you use the history, because you know that is your friend in this kind of situation, because chances are you are going to find that by sort of these prompt engineering kind of statements you're going to be putting in there are going to go off track from time to time. They're going to make changes that you don't want them to make. So just make sure that you kind of roll back, and then you can then get yourself back to where you were, and then you can then adjust your prompt again, and then because you know what happened the first time around, so you're going to want to make sure that you then you kind of make that change and make sure it doesn't make that mistake next time. So this is going away. It's kind of doing something a bit more sort of crazy here. It's kind of getting all of our package down again. You see everything's gone blue and all this kind of stuff. So that's just kind of doing what I expected to do. And here we are now in a really good place. So what I would do at this particular point is absolutely sort of quit the application here and then run that up again. You'll see that you've got Dreamflow there. It'll probably be a blink and you miss it, but you should then see another icon that will get created here, which will be the new build of your application. This might take a little bit longer to do the initial build than perhaps we've been doing so far. So pretty much that is it. I don't think there's much more else to kind of describe to you at this particular stage. Please do enjoy kind of using Dreamflow and kind of building out your applications and kind of doing all of this wonderful stuff. And you can see through this particular video we didn't cut any code whatsoever, but the more you do it, the more you'll get used to how kind of these AI tools are working for you and what they're good at and what they're not good at, but that will just come over time. And remember also as well, just keep an eye on your credits down here as well, because obviously we've been working our way through this, we've been reducing our credits here, so just keep an eye on that. But you find that quite complex projects will end up consuming more credits, so just be careful there. So anyway, hope you liked the video. If you are not a member of the Digital Pros No Code Academy, please do check the link in the description if you like this kind of stuff. If you are liking this type of format of video where I'm just kind of walking through in these kind of a more live kind of like sort of demonstrations, then please do put a comment in the description. I'd love to get your feedback, and I'm happy to do more of these as well. And if you've got some ideas as well that you want me to take from Dreamflow into Windsurf and kind of create out some more applications, and please do put your ideas in there as well. More than happy to take a look at those. But anyway, please do like the video, please do subscribe to the channel if you not already a subscriber, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.